Assalamualaikum and hi, my name is Haki. I'm going to present about the introduction, part A, pre-reading and the post-reading stage. And for the while reading stage, the Fahana will be the one who present about it because she the one who do the storyboard. Okay, and for the introduction, as you know, Madam has given us the instruction to do the project, and the project is about analysis of the short story. And we need to choose one out of 3 short stories, and the short stories is 2 kinds, boys and girls, and the last one is the lamb to the slaughter. And the one we choose is lamb to the slaughter because it has a very great storyline and really interesting plot and also some funny scenes in the story. And after that, I will going to explain about the analysis itself. There is 3 part of the. There is the 3 part for the project. The first part is the analysis, which is the pre-reading stage, consists of the prediction of the story, how long do it take, and to finish it, and we need to take a look at the opening of each sentence and skim through it, and how difficult is the language used in the story, and also how difficult is the language is, and how many pages does the story have. And for reading stages, we need to list down the main character with explanation, describe the type of setting found in the story, point of view, and crucial moment and plot. Okay, that's for the first part. And the second part is the literature dictionary. For this part, we need to make a mini dictionary that contains at least 10 literature terms that can be found in the story with definition, extract from the story, and visual symbol or image that can represent the term. And for the last part, which is the storyboard, we need to create a storyboard based on the plot from the while reading stage, the first part, which is plot of the story. The storyboard can be drawn or made it from the other alternative website that have the what we say that the alternative to make the storyboard we can use, and to make our life easy with that. Okay, and next I will talk about the part A, analysis, which is the pre-reading. And for the pre-reading, our storyboard title is Lamb to the Slaughter. And so for the first point, which is what might the story about, and do a prediction. Okay. When I first saw and read the title, I thought that the story about a lamb go to slaughter and massacre the village or something like that lah. And maybe the lamb from the title itself mean that someone weak and don't have any ability to fight, and to the slaughter ability to fight, and to the slaughter part mean that someone weak suddenly change overnight and kill other, maybe due to revenge or something like that lah. But then when I read the summary, I was totally wrong, and because of that, the whole story itself is something I did not expect to happen in the short story itself. And the other point is flip through the story and see how long. Okay, see how long is it. Okay, the lamb to the slaughter short story have 11 page because it was a short story to begin with. And when I take a look at each opening sentence of different paragraph and skim through the opening paragraph, I can easily determine that the short story is happen in the Mary house mostly, and also at the street outside the Mary house, and grocery shop when the Mary going to buy the groceries thing to cook. And for how difficult it is, the language is. So for me, the language used is at a medium level. And why I say it was at a medium level, because some sentences made me read twice, because they use the very simple word for me, but it has a deeper meaning to it. So to understand the story here, we need to read it twice lah. Okay, and how long the story? How long do we need to read the story? For me, because I always read novel and stuff. So for me, it took from 10 to 50 minutes to finish all the 11 pages. Okay, now for the pre-reading, for the post-reading stage, which is the reflection upon what I'm reading from the pre-reading stage, and to what the extent that my prediction is close to the story. And honestly, my prediction is quite off, but maybe some of them is close to the story. But the wrong part is that I say about the lamb got around slaughter the village. That obviously a nonsense, but that was what I thought when I see the title. So, and after that, slaughter and the other women. But in the actual story, the lamb refer to the frozen lamb leg that used by the Mary with the main character to kill her husband. That's the actual story lah. And the other prediction that I think that close to the story that I talk about lamb mean that someone who is weak but going to kill someone due to revenge. Why I say the prediction is close, because the story itself, when I said someone who is weak but going to kill someone due to revenge, is the Mary. Mary obviously is weak herself and suddenly use the frozen lamb leg to kill her husband, and due to her husband want to divorce her. And the two that I predict and the actual story is really close. So that's what I think, and that's all from me for the introduction, pre-reading stage and post-reading stage. And from me, thank you.
So, good day and Assalamualaikum to my dear lecturer, Madam Asra, and my classmates. My name is Nur Amelia Sabrina, and I'm going to talk about the literature dictionary based on the story called Lamb to the Slaughter, written by Roald Dahl. So, for the mini dictionary, we were asked to do we need to find the literary devices, and then we need to show where can it be found in the short story and such. So for the first one, it is alliteration. Alliteration is basically the occurrence of the same letter or sound at the beginning of the adjacent or closely connected words. So it can be found in the phrase, the room was warm, the curtains were closed, the 2 tables lamps were lit. So as you can see, the letter W was commonly repeated. So moving on to the next one, it is the simile. Simile is the term that is used to point out the similarity between 2 things or more. It can be found in the phrase where the narrator says about Mary, when that said, she loved to luxuriate in the presence of this man and to feel almost as a sunbather feels the sun. So meaning that she, Mary herself, enjoys her husband's company at all times. So the next one is foreshadowing. Foreshadowing is a term that is used when the writer wants to give a heads up to the reader about like what's going to happen next. So The example is Mary Maloney's feelings directed to her husband, Patrick Maloney, expresses how excited she gets whenever he is about to come home from work. So you see, every day, Mary excitedly waits for Patrick because she wants to spend time with him, she misses him so much, and she loves him. Okay, conflict itself is a event that supports the theme, which is betrayal. So the part that Mary betrays her husband can be seen here. When she kills her husband, she deceives the grocer and she tricks the detectives because she actually cooked the leg of the lamb into like a soup or dish and made the detectives eat it to get rid of the murder evidence. So, and it is a betrayal of marriage vows where married couples aren't supposed to do such things to each other. And next is the hyperbole. Hyperbole is the exaggeration of a rhetorical device or figure. Like, it is to describe something that is so great without having to say the actual word. So when Mary killed her husband over a simple divorce, like I'm not saying like the divorce is something simple to go through, but yes, the way Mary handled her emotions when her husband said that is totally out of control. And the next one is symbolism. Symbolism is used to represent ideas and qualities. So, as you can see, the title Lamb to the Slaughter itself refers to Mary and her emotions. The Mary was referred to as a lamb because of her very positive personality and all that. She is so loving, so obedient, and then the slaughter refers to when Mary's emotions were totally out of control, like when she immediately struck Patrick's head using a frozen lamb leg. So it was an emotional slaughter for Mary. The theme of the theme is called the main point of the story and storyline. So the theme was deceit and betrayal. As you can see throughout the whole story, there were lots of things like that were unclear, like not transparent and all that. So the next one is the metaphor. So metaphor is used to describe something inanimate as if they were living. So like it was Maloney's skull, and Mary Maloney often compared her late husband Patrick to the warmth of the sun. Like not saying that directly her husband is warm, but it means that she really indulges in her husband's love and all that. So the setting is like where and when the story takes place. So the story of Mary and Patrick here takes place in America back in the 1950s. So the mood of the story is that is the flow of the story and how the writer feels. It was tranquil and calm, but suspense starts to build up as the story goes further and further to keep it more intriguing and mysterious.
Assalamualaikum, my name is Farhana Amir and I'll be presenting my part, which is while reading and the storyboard. So for the main characters, the two main characters in the story are Mary and Patrick Maloney. I said that because the story is really about just the two. Mostly it's about the two of them, and mostly it's focused on Mary since she's the one who killed Patrick. And then for the settings, Lamb to the Slaughter took place in the house of Maloney. So it's only in their house, and other than that, it's just the grocery store. The timeline is probably around 1953, since that's the date of publication of the story. For point of view, Lamb to the Slaughter is told from Mary Maloney's point of view. This decision to tell the story from the murderer's point of view is an exciting decision, and one that describes the story to a great extent. So it's really, again, since Mary Maloney is the main character, this is reasonable to tell a story from the point of view of Mary, as this helps the reader to understand why she is behaving as she is in the story, why she killed her husband, and all sorts of that, so that we can understand that she's trying not to get caught and be punished when she lied to the police, because she wants to save herself and her unborn child. For the crucial moment in the story, there are a few of the crucial moments. One of them is Mary Maloney attempts to put her husband to death because he wants a divorce. She then hides the murder weapon by cooking it and serving it to the cops. Aside from this, the clearest of this happens near to the end of the plot, which Mary caught the police and there are detectives in her building. When they eat the leg of the lamb, one of the officers says that it's probably right under our very noses. This claim is actually valid because the officer who says it has no idea what he means. For the plot, exposition is, the tale begins with Mary Maloney's deception when she's is just about them, that Mary's pregnant, that they are a happy couple. For the rising action is when Patrick starts to throws off her efforts, when Mary's trying to care for him, and then suddenly Patrick told her that he is leaving her. And then for the climax is when Mary unexpectedly swings the frozen meat at the back of Patrick's head, killing him. That's the climax. For the falling action, she pretended to be shocked to find Patrick's body on the floor and started crying when she got back from the grocery. And then she calls the police. And then for resolution, the police feel sorry with Mary and try to comfort her. And then there was no evidence when, despite nearly 3 pointless hours looking for the weapons, because it's cooked. And then Mary is able to convince the exhausted, starving and disappointed police to drink some whiskey and eat the leg of the lamb, which is the murder weapon. And that's when the police said it's right under our noses. And then this, the storyboard. So yeah, thank you.
For the conclusion of the project, we managed to learn a lot more about literary devices that are within the literature components, which means that we can easily identify which literary devices are in any form of literature work. So the next one, we managed to learn how to identify the structure of short stories based on the short story that we chose, which is Lamb to the Slaughter by Roald Dahl. So it is like we now know how a good short story structure should be within the time. So for the last part, as a group we managed to work together into gain more valuable information and about literature itself. So now we know more about it. That is it from me. Thank you.